Okay, it's 6:31. I'd like to open the meeting for the July 14th meeting for the Billerica Conservation Commission. This meeting is available using Zoom application, for public comments and questions, with a time limit of 3 minutes per speaker. Please note this meeting is being recorded. Please stand to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Staff present this evening: Isabel Torcantonis, Mike DeVito, and Christina Bernard. Commission members present this evening: Joanne Giovanno, Diane DePazzo, myself, Bill Bewlins, Jack Bowen, Christine Iris, and Tom Nelson. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns not pertaining to any items on tonight's agenda, either in the room or online? Online?
There are, but not raising their hand.
Questions? Okay, then we will get started. Yeah. Good. So at 6:32. First item, reorganization of the commission.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we nominate Bill Bowen as chair.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. So that was Joanne and
Yeah, there he is.
unanimous.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we nominate Joanne Giovino to be the vice chair.
Second. Tom got it. All in favor?
Aye.
Like to make a nomination, nominate Diane DePasso for secretary. Second. Seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Again. Nobody can home now.
So I'm sorry, for secretary, that was Jack Bowen and
Tom,
Tom,
so Tom also did vice chair, right?
yes.
yes,
Lynn?
Easier than some boards in town, right?
Okay, at 6:34, Mass Wetlands Protection Act and Billerica Wetlands Protection Bylaw wetland hearing. Notice of intent, public hearing for 189 Pond Street. Applicant Michael Seal. DEP file 109-1600, BBL 1600.
For the record, Stephen Dresser, just brings away, representing Michael Messina, I'm mad before you. This is, Illinois Niner here. They have applied to build an addition, that includes a garage and a slight driveway expansion. That will accommodate the two-car garage. There is no work within the 25-foot no alteration zone, and there is only an 18.5% increase in the impervious area, which is allowable under the bylaw. There is no variance being requested. They will have a stone trench for the driveway expansion. They will have a gutter infiltration system for the roof runoff as per the town of Billerica and stormwater management bylaw. There will be erosion control along the tree line. The 25-foot no alteration zone is virtually undisturbed in the area of the project. They have proposed to put signage along that 25-foot no alteration zone, posts with signage. It's kind of typical when we have a no alteration zone that is vegetated. This will provide protection, primary protection to that area. There is an existing shed in the back that does kind of clip the no alteration zone. I think historically, the commission has conditioned that they would not be allowed to rebuild that shed in that location should something happen, and the shed needs to be moved. So anyway, it's a fairly simple one. So Any questions, but yes, that's good.
Isabel?
Staff conducted a review and, as far as, just comments on the plan. If the tree line is available or, as a layer for the remaining tree line in the buffer zone, turn that on to the rear of the property. Applicant is proposing a visual barrier as a post with signage. Discuss those posts potentially being installed at the edge of the tree line in some areas. FEMA and green engineering are associated with the property. But I don't, then they should be added to the project plan, if the elevations are available and the firm maps. Add the datum to the plan and, DEP number, As far as anything else, so, mentioned the record, 6:37. Yeah, 10-hour ride. Yeah.
Thank you.
Single family house projects are exempt from the Mass Stormwater Management Standards, but your bylaw, requires that applicants and representing of the assessed opportunities to infiltrate and or capture, infiltrate and discharge stormwater. Steve noted that was added to the plans, in coordination with the local stormwater bylaw as well. I don't believe we had, an opportunity to discuss this with DPW as far as in the stormwater, management system on site, but it's definitely, typical of what's usually installed for single family house project. And I believe the project may be subject to a degree of Board of Health review for, work in proximity to the FEMA or green engineering floodplain. That's something that, the representative can, Steve can talk to Crystal about. That's it for staff review comments. As far as the delineation, we agree with the delineation that's out in the field.
Joanne?
Yeah, I had an opportunity to visit the site. I have no problem with the location of the addition and garage and the driveway. Some of the things Isabel said I had as notes. I agree, only, I was thinking if you're not going to put a post rail fence because it's located within that heavily treated vegetative area, you're gonna do the post. I would like to see them brought forward more to the tree line, but particularly, maybe put two signs at the corner of where the existing shed is to remain, right? The shed's remaining. Yeah, because other than that, you don't show, any other posts with signage, so you might want to continue as far as you can off the property, put a couple more, but I think right behind the shed, if it's not gonna be a post rail there, like, which you typically get going up to one corner or the other, we should at least have two signs right there. There's some debris that needs to be cleared out of there, some yard waste, and that type of thing. Isabel, I guess we could just do it. It's not, you sorry, about that, they probably could scare seed mix down something. Let's see, in the areas that they removed. Yeah, it was debris. And you're not planning on clearing anything on that side, you're gonna leave the trees and everything.
Yeah, unless something has to go because it's destroyed or something. Leave all the trees again.
Could you just tell us your name and address for where this being recorded?
Sure, Michael Lucino, 189 Pond Street, Philadelphia, Mass.
Thank you.
Actually, we'll say there's one tree on the driveway, does have to go because it's actually, as the driveway moves forward, there's one tree.
Okay, and I don't know what tree it is, but it may be outside the 25-foot.
Oh, yeah, it'd be right in that.
Oh, okay. So I'm more concerned where we're talking about that 25-foot, no alteration,
Oh.
where Steve's probably explained where you'll put some posts with signage on it, which we think we're gonna have you expand that, but,
Yeah, no, we're not touching anything. There's
yeah, where that tree, where your current tree, all current trees are, you're gonna just leave it like this, yeah. It's a nice spot for you to have anyhow, so, thank you. Let's see, that was all I had, Bill, thank you.
Thank you. Diane?
Yeah, the only other thing I would add to what Joanne and Isabel also mentioned is there a location for the pool drainage? Where does that go now?
What do you do when you drain the
When you
pool?
drain the pool,
Oh,
where does it go?
So right now I pump it out, onto the grass, right? This pool is, I like to see it up there, the, left side.
Yeah, yeah.
That's-
Um,
But I can change that.
yeah, the farther away from the wetlands, the better, so, you know, you could ask the office for some guidance on that, and if you're not installing a new pool or anything like that, but, you know, since it's already an existing one, perhaps you can add something as well as to the location of the drainage. Away from,
You can add that as a special condition.
yeah,
You let the pool window, right, you know, so
Yeah, no, I let it all, I mean, it's like,
wait a few weeks before you drain it.
Yeah. but yeah, but I can certainly go to the other side, which is away from.
yeah.
Wetlands and.
Yes, and then get some good infiltration and stuff. And then the condition about the shed, the existing shed, should that ever need to be replaced?
No, I did not realize that we shouldn't be built, that's fine, I have no intention.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will set Mr. Chairman.
Jack? I'm all set. Yeah, good, thank you. Christine?
I'm good, thank you.
Tom?
All set also.
And the only comment I had, nothing wrong, it's just. The scale of the pool, say 12 foot is almost as big as the house. It just,
Oh,
that's all.
It's not at all.
See it?
it's probably the DIA, it should be an RAP.
Yeah, okay.
Bill,
Yeah.
excuse me, before you go to the audience, we have some revisions that have to be made here, so I do think, to be consistent, we should have a variance request put on the plan for the shed, because it is actually, and I know we're gonna grant it, because we're talking about,
How is that consistent?
it's in the no alteration zone.
What's
portion.
that doing, they're not doing any work, they're not altering it.
Yeah, but we're being consistent, because other places we've asked them to move it out, we're not asking to be moved out, we're not even asking for restoration, because it is. Well, tended back there, but, just let's be consistent, put it on here. Because it is existing in the alteration zone. We'll go for a variance, I think we've got the gist of the board, we're going to allow it to stay, and we'll just do the 2 signs, but the consistency, I think we should do that. Yeah, we're doing our promotions anyhow, I don't think it's actually too much to ask.
Any questions in the audience? Comment? Okay.
Yeah, August 11th.
Would be nice, okay, I make a motion that we continue the application for 189 Pine Street. From
I know this is right here. You said before we go to the public, yeah, comment, but we haven't got to the public yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Before the meeting.
No,
we just did.
No, I just asked because they're and online.
All right, sorry.
I make a motion that we continue the hearing for 189 Pond Street, phone number 109 1600, BDL 1600, to August 11th.
Mhm.
For the additions to the plan.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good.
What? Yeah, 811. Okay, at 6:45, that's item, Mass Wetlands Protection Act and Bull River Wetlands Protection Bylaw Wetlands Hearing. Notice of intent public hearing, 10 Shawshene Road, applicant George Allen and Son Construction, DEP file number 1091599, BBL 1599.
For the record, Stephen Dresser, Williams Way, representing Georgia Development Construction. And I had before you, for the record, this lot previously part of, the next door property at 10 Shashi. Which had a prior order of conditions that it was released to a certificate of compliance, so it's no longer active. This lot was, it was a separate lot number in 2024, they passed something called the Affordable Home Act. It allowed for lots that were, 70, more than 75 feet or more, like 10,000 square feet in an area, that basically under chapter 48, section 6, which is the grandfather clause. And it changed the language in that, so lots that were in existence that had that 75 and 10,000 certain lots are now buildable with a restriction of 1,850 square foot. So that's how this lot came about. So, the Allens have acquired the right to purchase this and have applied frontage. The house will be located outside of the 50-foot no alteration zone. There'll be a stone trench and infiltration system. As per the town stormwater regulation. There is a portion of the lot that was actually allowed under the old order to be. Cleared as part of within the 50-foot no operation zone. We have proposed restoring that area, and we have applied for a variance for that. We do have erosion control, post and rail fence that is entirely outside of the 50-foot no operation zone. That's about it. Again, a fairly simple one with there was green engineering, FEMA floodplain on the lot, we're outside of that. But meet your regulations other than that, need a variance to the restoration, 50-foot no operation zone. Well, any questions? We'll answer them.
Isabel,
Yes, Dr. agrees with the delineation and the question may recall, but I think that was next door. There is a 12-inch drainage pipe that conveys stormwater. The location of that drainage pipe is not clear on the property. The way it's shown is the drain line extends from the catch basin and generally ends near that proposed soft tile area. You know, and with past projects, the commission have required that such infrastructure be shown on the plan. We don't know if it, you know, shifts to the right, or if it'll be intercepted with some degree of construction. We've had a few issues with drain lines and construction, over the years. In addition, everything else looks great. Floodplain shown on the plan, stormwater is being captured and infiltrated. DPW did submit a memo as part of the NOI review. And they have some comments, obtain new house number for the lot, revised plan with the correct address. Provide DPW with plan showing proposed utilities for review and approval prior. And then with regards to your jurisdiction, it says the plan must be revised to show the entire extent of the existing drain pipe that crosses the property from the catch basin in Shawsheen Road to the outlet of the pipe. The plan must indicate accurate location, pipe size, pipe type, and the condition of the pipe must be assessed. It says relocate the existing drain line as needed so that there are no structures within 10 feet of the existing or proposed drain line. If the title exam on the property reveals that there is a drainage easement, show the easement. And so forth, and that was forwarded to the commissioners, and I can also give a copy of this to Steve, because we have an extra copy on file.
I can just address that rain, I mean, it's noted on the plan, it's buried. We cambered it. I don't know where it goes, we can't go digging up without your permission, so I guess if this becomes permission for us to go within the 50-foot no alteration zone to find the end of that pipe, then that's all we're gonna have to do. You can't just do that without asking permission, really come in front of permission. But the answer is, we looked high and low, we cambered it, we do not have an answer as to whether that pipe is. The only way to do that is.
How does it look with the camera?
What's that?
How does it look with the
It was
camera?
okay until it wouldn't go any further, right?
Did you use a locator to see where it ended or? not?
Yes, yeah, it says, you know, when it's shown locate by
I don't
camera.
have that.
So that's where it was, 4 feet down, we get a depth. Like, it can't go any further than that, so it's either clogged, crushed, or always fine, just end it like that. It doesn't seem to be, you know, catch basin works, it's sand down there. So it's crushed ends or whatever there, it probably drains fine, but yeah, we should have an answer to that. We'll be okay digging that up.
Yeah, they might find it on the machine.
If they, like it.
Yeah, with your permission, we have that based on the comments.
You want to done that, or should I just explain it?
Needs to be discussed with the commission, especially if it involves, you know, usually you have a sense of how much tree clearing and vegetation clearing, and it can't be, can't have a defined limit of work. I guess, you know, coordinate with DPW and the conservation department. However, DPW may recommend, you know, finding that pipe, I'm not sure, but the commission can't just say, go ahead and dig up all of the vegetated buffer zone.
We don't know where
Without
it
some
is, we can't,
sense.
we don't know where it is, we can't tell you what we're gonna have to dig up.
So you didn't find any,
Question is,
No, we cambered it,
is it?
yeah, down here,
out of this, or?
it just ended there, we got a depth, we
Can
know.
you show us where it ended? I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
So there's a line,
Oh, is
Other
that-
than the line ends.
Yeah.
that no 12-inch range like
I read the note, but it doesn't
No scope in
actually
it.
tell us what that. Oh, I see what you're saying, yes.
In or out?
So that's as far as you could find to go.
I up into the pitch.
state
Oh, I
it
did,
and
maybe went to
locate
the-
it and all that. Yeah, well, the likelihood is it's either crushed or and it goes in that, you know, that same direction. You know, we have a starting point because the catch basin, we have an ending point because the camera. We know it doesn't hit a manhole or it was put in
And you,
80 years ago and takes us.
did you go out there and physically look, you said, and you didn't see anything?
Yes, we went out, that would have been the easiest thing to just find, I mean, that would be typical. You know, but they're often very typically would be able to find the end of the pipe. And, you know, just connect the dots. But in this case, we couldn't find, we searched very much for the end of that pipe, because then we went ahead and right.
Did you try jetting it, or is that something DPW would,
We did not try jetting it, no.
Digging it?
Did like jet blowing through
Yeah, we,
with like the hose of high power.
so that's something that would be done as a next step, that's what we've seen, typical. You do have a prior project that, ended in legal and in litigation, in that case, the drain line did shift over to the right and was in the location of where construction was being proposed, so that's why I believe, all parties, whether it's the commission or DPW, to be a degree of coordination on where that line is.
Right.
I think, as Steve mentioned, the catch basin appears to be functioning. Okay, so the next step I would recommend is jetting that pipe and seeing if that helps at all. That might actually,
Is that in fact the drain line for the,
Yeah, they do.
we do know that, I'm just curious.
Yeah, we started the camera in the catch base.
It is an exit pipe, not a inlet.
Now, it's downhill. Definitely downhill.
All right, so I guess we'll just determine that to be, an issue that needs to be coordinated with the DPW, the applicant, and with input from the Conservation Commission, because anyway, we've got to actually get the drainage easement put on the property.
There is no. That search did not come, there's no drainage easement there. That doesn't mean we can't. Grant one, but. The
I-
home is the town gonna.
I think that's what they're asking for, though, if it isn't.
They said if the title search comes up with an easement, then put it on the plan, but we've done the title search, there isn't an easement.
It says that if there is no evidence of an existing drainage easement, then please deliver a draft easement document that provides a 10-foot easement on either side of the existing pipe.
Okay,
That's what I was.
if we find the pipe, so the town is gonna accept responsibility for the pipe, that's good.
You'd have to ask DPW on that. I'm just
So the easement-
just telling you
they're asking for
that-
the easement, that's the only one it's going to, you can't give an easement to yourself, so.
I know you hadn't had an opportunity to read that letter from DPW, that's what I was saying. That's what I read. But in any case, it's only just the, post and rail fence is going to pretty much towards the back, follow the 50-foot no alteration zone, and then it's just gonna go right over to the end of the property. Right around the 50-foot, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm seeing here, and I know that the other.
To the house instead of,
erosion control.
instead of having that triangle in the yard, just go parallel in the house, so it actually protected that.
In the erosion control, though, you bring it down the side.
Correct.
And I couldn't enter the property and look because George, your property has a heck of a lot of poison ivy in it.
Oh, I won't go on it either.
Mr. Pazzo was with me and we didn't even want to get out of the car because all we had to do was look at it.
I don't blame you, I won't either.
So I'm going to have to take it from Mike and Isabel that they got a chance to look at the no alteration zone. And there's no dumping back there, nothing that needed to be, no debris, anything like that. And you don't, that's unusual, okay? All right, so I'll take their word for it, there's no dumping back there. And the only other comment I will make, Steve, is the one I did before on the previous, is that add the variance request because you are doing the work. Just the restoration or. I didn't see it, I apologize, are we here?
I know, if you're on the camera, I don't think.
Well, you.
Oh, it's not on this.
Oh, because you can put it over here, if it's,
Oh,
no,
that-
there is,
There is a request.
there's a request, but I can put the note on the,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't.
That-
Let's see, you put a note on the plan, please, and Isabel, you had a chance to look at the plantings and they seem.
And you do this too.
Yeah,
That area has a lot of soup brush with that, that's fine.
okay, very good, thank you, Bill.
Diane?
Yeah, just a couple of things, Steve. The existing post and rails fence that's back there for the budding lot, and you know, we need that on George. That should come out of there.
If you want us to, sure.
Yeah, because that way that vegetation will have a better chance of merging together stuff. And just for clarification for my brain, the use easement to be provided, is that for the neighboring driveway that's on this property?
Yes. Okay,
And that's their propane tank,
correct.
okay, okay. That's it for me, thank you. Thanks, Chair.
Jack?
Yeah, just gonna reserve the comment until we get resolved on the drainage from the catch basin, where it's going. Due to the crazy weather we had around the country.
Jeff?
Good thing.
Steve?
I'm good, thank you.
Tom?
I'll set.
And the only thing I saw in the narrative was that easement for the Ragland propane, the next door, was listed as 10. Gushing is the next door 10?
It
Or
is.
is,
No, the next one's 10.
oh, okay,
This will likely be 12, I don't know. It's
okay.
Only we'll make that correction on
One thing.
Any,
It's
it.
short.
Yeah, that was in the DPW, right? That's it.
any questions, comments to this, Christine?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
All right, then I will need a motion that we continue the hearing and so we attend Starship Road, applicant George Allen, file number 1091599 and BL 1599 to August 11th for revisions to the plan and to work with CPW to come to a conclusion on the drainage easement.
Second.
Jeff,
Yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
that's Jeff.
Yeah.
A shower, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
And it's 7:02, on to the Mass Wetlands Protection Act and Bull River Wetlands Protection Bylaw, wetlands hearing, notice of intent, public hearing, the 36 Rogers Street, applicant John and Melissa Conway, DE file 1091602, BBL 1602.
That's yours, man.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are letting him sit up front like a big boy all by himself.
Was it catch?
Yeah, that's not. He's holding you back. He's holding you back.
Okay, for the record, Stephen Grosser, Grosser Williamson Way, representing John and Melissa Conway, on behalf before you. Conways have applied to demolish the existing home at 36 Rogers Street and construct a new single-family home at this location. Just as a point of information, we did stake the corners of the house, and John and Melissa went out to look at it. They decided they were too far away from the road. They asked us to revise the plan and have the house move forward. So we did move the house up to 36 feet, which is essentially the minimum. They also, I was told just the other day, just Friday, they have a basement entry got added to the plan, so. That has also been added to the plan. All told though, it's the house considerably further from the wetland, so. I think. From a commission standpoint, that's a plus to help forward. But if you did go look out there and look at the stakes, they're actually 25 feet behind. Where the house is actually gonna go. One of the other, and there are some, I want to say with John and his dad, is here as well. There are some stouts up in this corner that are kind of, that they do want to take out, so I have just kind of added a note that there's a whole bunch of them. That have been cut down, and I did extend the siltation fence to account for any erosion that could come from the removal of those stouts. Yeah, the wetlands, the resource areas on the site are bank associated with the old Middlesex Canal here. And 3 separate isolated wetland systems. The nearest point to the proposed house now is 70 feet from from this isolated vegetated wetland. Through the years, there has been activity on the site, not by the applicant, however, by prior homeowners. There are some fillings, some stumps through here. Such, I assume you're gonna want those, that cleaned up. We'll work with Isabel on that. I'm sure there'll be some discussion about it tonight. For now, we've asked to restore the areas that are not at least brush right now with 34 plantings. We've also put in, the request we put in was to have a post and rail fence be 12 feet, which would have us retain about 140 square feet of the no alteration zone. It's kind of a dirt road and kind of access around everything access, and there's a kind of a basement here with a garage in the back. They do put tractor in and out of there. I think there was a discussion, but the, only today, that maybe the commission might be willing to allow them to go a little bit further than that. So that you can kind of have that access. At present, that 140 square feet, we have proposed, number one, to protect an additional, it's 235 square feet. Outside the no alteration zone, by cutting a couple spots, and as we said before, providing restoration plans in about 2,200 square feet of the area. Within the no alteration zone, that's, they've been cleared. In addition to the post rail fence, which is coming from here and kind of the land usage, we propose some signage up the back here for additional protection. And as with the other plans, you can stormwater management for better an infiltration system and that's some French for the driveway. Will be installed with the stormwater bylaw. So that's it. Erosion control and John's here to answer any questions as well. Tom owns the property on this side and as well. So. He's also here kind of looking over some interest as well. If there are any questions, be glad to answer them.
Isabel?
And yet staff conducted a review of the wetland resource areas and noted a couple of areas of historic alteration, but with noticeable fill. That's years of historic landscaping debris being dumped, and that's specifically between 4D and 5D and 5D and 6D. Those areas should be shown on the plan and quantified since it's going to involve removal of fill and BBW. And with regards to the wetland delineation, we did review and auger in certain areas and concur that those are isolated vegetated wetlands. However, we walk the whole edge of water and I've based on the wetland flagging that was in the field, all the bank flags, with the exception of one or two, were well within the water. Based on my observation of just strip line, sedimentation, kind of more consistent with bank full conditions, I'd say that the edge of, that flag series 9A through 25A, we actually did walk all the way to the end of the culvert. And if that's not gonna be shown, we should just reference, continues to whatever, I think it's a 14-inch, I don't know, 16-inch corrugated metal pipe. And where that ends, flag 1A. You have it on the A&R plan, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, just added note, but Mike and I both feel that based on our field observations, that that flag series 9A is more indicative of bank. The bank flags are well within are in the water and they're so close. And I didn't see any real difference to distinguish bank and BBW along that entire stretch there.
I'm confused where we, down here,
Yeah,
okay,
in other words,
B should be.
I'm gonna recommend that the commission approve wetland boundary on this plan 9A all the way through 25A. As said. And then if there could be a note added to the plan, just that 9A continues to I think it's 1A and or 2A and 1A placed at the corrugated metal pipe.
Where's the corrugated metal pipe?
It's off the plan.
This is again,
Continues. Oh, you're on the A&R plan. It's right here.
that's a 48 inch.
Yeah, oh, sure, gosh, I know, right? All right, yeah, it's at 1A. There's actually it's a corrugated metal pipe right there at 1A.
I'll get to the canal, I'll go look at it.
Just for a note, because this is such a big lot, until we have all the information, it's kind of a large.
I'm still, so you wanna go from 1A to
Yeah, you don't have
the
to,
culvert?
you just have to add a note to the plan.
Okay.
I'm not saying you have to extend the plan by any means, but just add a note to the end, on the left side of this plan. It's a big, large wetland system, and it's kind of,
Oh, that the other side of this has bank and stuff like that.
nope, just that the flagging continues to a corrugated metal pipe. And what that size is.
But you wanna remove the doors thing?
I
There
would,
it is and stuff.
yeah, I mean, you can show the existing edge of water, but I disagree that that's.
Okay.
Everything else looked great, we did document in our notes where there's, again, historic debris out in the woods at specific locations, I actually have them in our messy field notes, so we can have more detail on that, you know, just piles of shingles, small, that can be, that are reachable without causing damage, few areas of scrap metal, and a few concrete blocks in red brick by 11E, 10E, for example, and we can kind of itemize that, just so it's easy to find.
Okay, great.
But yeah, I'd say the biggest thing on the plan is really showing the extent of wetland fill. And that specific area is just 4D through 60, right? 4D through 60. And it's easy access. The other thing we did discuss, and Steve mentioned it, we did meet with the applicant's family member, Mr. Tom Conway, in the field, and he was very kind and gave us a tour of the area. But as far as the existing barn, there is a rather large rear access door, and there is adequate access that can probably be or should be maintained to safely access that barn with heavy equipment, which I believe is the intent of maintaining the barn. There's the edge of the tree line is shown here. There's actually edge of lawn, grass that's been maintained. And that's, I think that area should get looked at again and shown as what that limit is for the access. In other words, I think the applicant is asking, we're looking to revise that post and rail fence, and understandably, that could be revised to show the limit of the existing lawn, and it's what they would need to maintain or to access the rear barn with heavy equipment. So Mike and I looked at that and we took some measurements in the field. So from the back of the barn straight out towards wetland flag 10D, for example, that would be about 25 feet is what they would, would maintain that's there today. And then from the rear corner, left corner of the barn, just straight out towards, let's say, WF60, that direction. That would be 18 feet. It's actually the edge of the tree line right there. Probably, oh, actually, I didn't have a scale, so I'll take that back. And then the front left corner of the barn, straight out in the direction of 90, for example, if she wants an idea, about 25 to 30 feet. That's how they would be able to maintain access with heavy equipment, excavator. Just because they do have a rather large garden, a lot of land to maintain. And that's what they would kind of need to maintain access. Did the commission, anyone see that large barn in the back? Or the door on the back? So those are our comments. There's a post and rail fence that's shown extensively from Rogers Street all the way back to the property, and then it wraps up with some posts and signage along the 50 foot. And I thought in some cases a little bit more conservative, so along the existing tree line. And then I would say there's access to the rear. So there's additional area along this 50 foot that might need some restoration that's not shown on here.
I don't know where you're pointing, so.
Both types of screen.
Upgrading, so this is an opening in the tree line.
Yeah.
Tree line, this, it's wide open throughout here. I think this is the spot right here, yeah. So that area has a degree of disturbance, and again, historic disturbance. And then we also discussed some tree cutting that had occurred out on the property. And I believe you were going to go out there and just, so there was inadvertent tree cutting within the buffer zone. Prior to the wetlands delineation, and is a little deceiving if you're not familiar with vegetated or forested wetlands. You would think maybe the limit of wetland is the canal, but there's actually forested wetland beyond the canal. So we just asked that those general location of the stumps, you don't have to survey them in, but approximate how many, where, and the type of tree, so that there can be one-to-one replacement. I would not recommend replacing the pines with pines, just because, well, this is going to be used in a manner that wasn't really used in the past. That's something that they can propose as to what they would like to see.
Do you want them in that spot or?
I would need to see where that falls within the plan. Based on my review and just. It looked like it was within the 100 foot buffer zone, more like probably in that area where there's the green engineering floodplain pocket. On the plan. Yeah. It seemed like that was where it was on the field.
Oh, yeah, well, I think it's well in front of that.
Okay.
It's close to me, I think it's in this general area, but we'll survey to make sure.
Yeah, if you could, and then, and. You know, depending where that is on the plan, there might be an opportunity to do some, one-to-one at some of those plantings within that path that needs to be restored.
Mhm.
It was basically the path that was used to do the historic dumping and filling that you see in the wetland today. It's free and clear, you can walk right up to it.
Yeah. You want that path restored?
That path is well within the buffer zone, and the inner buffer zone it should be. That's subject.
50 for no alteration, someone, if you want to move.
I don't know where it is, it looked like it extended right up to the wetland filling.
Oh, okay.
It wrapped around.
There, and you're talking about. Okay.
It wrapped
All right,
around.
I'll investigate very closely.
If you want and there's any questions, we can meet you out in the field to facilitate and review.
Over that.
That's mainly it for staff review comments. Yeah, we have no further comment. Mike, you can.
Joanne?
Thank you, so I guess, well, let me say this, first of all. It's gonna be a beautiful house, it's a lovely lot, so, I'm sorry to see the big trees being all taken down, I can't imagine how old they are, but. It's, some have already been cut down. I understand that I could see that the house corners were marked, but I was having a hard time determining where the 50 foot alteration zone was. So I'm not sure what the level of disturbance, I saw yard waste, as you mentioned, that type of historic building was there. So I'm not sure that this restoration plan, which sounds like it's in flux, it's gonna change anyhow. I'm not sure that it's robust enough in some areas, maybe, you tell me, yeah. Was this being mowed?
No.
This is the tree line in
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah, that was the tree line.
So this
There was
part
some-
would be, right.
Yeah, there was some that was. Like that would be, some taken down here.
All right.
If
That's
it
it.
says tree line, it's probably more limited clearing would probably be, because they're not necessarily all trees, there's a lot of brush in there.
Yeah,
So if you went out in, like. What you probably would see where the heavier vegetation started. Is what that really depicts,
well, as I said, it was kind of.
but it sounds like we're gonna have a meeting.
Yeah, it sounds like this is gonna be changing anyhow. I mean, the overstory looked good. It was, you know, the understory was iffy because there had been a lot of yard waste and just, it looked like it's,
Yeah.
you know.
Despite all the activity, I mean, it's actually remarkably well preserved, having owned it for so long that they
Yeah.
cleared that it.
Yeah, I know it is Isabel's type.
At one time and all that.
Yeah.
so.
I'm also a little confused because I was just looking at this lot, but we're also talking about the other side too.
Well, the only reason we're talking about that is because some of these trees or these stumps are likely on that lot.
Okay, but, and who owns that one?
Tom Conway owns this lot one. Which is almost entirely outside of the,
Okay, so that's DM John His Realty Trust or that?
Yeah.
Oh, I was confused. Okay, so we have permission to go on and do that kind of work then. That's why I was questioning if we could, you know, condition put on that. Yeah, I know what Isabel's talking about, when you go to the back, this, obviously this. An alteration, but there's a wide swath and has a sign that says no dumping down into it.
The whole neighborhood used to dump all their leaves there. We took ownership of the property, and the concrete shop is well. We put signs, because literally the entire neighborhood would dump leaves back there.
For the signage.
So that's why.
Could you just identify yourself for the,
My name is John Conway, 10 Peach Ave.
thank you very much. Okay, so I wasn't sure which lot we were on, but I know it went over, but I think it needs to be, maybe shown clear on the plan, where it is and what we're doing is, so they'll see where it is and how much is on one lot and the other and what we're gonna do with it. So I'm glad you already had that discussion because it was confusing for us to know where we were on which lot and where the 50-foot was because it wasn't marked in the field. And let me just, so behind the barn, right now, you're just showing a 12-foot clearance that you wanted to preserve. Now you want to probably make that go all the way back to the tree lines, what we're saying?
thereabouts, yeah.
From what I understand, you didn't realize the rear barn door was in that
That's right.
position.
We went out for a
Okay.
sidewalk last week.
All right, so this.
I know the activity that they did there, so it's a tractor, though, and. It's not like I said excavator, it's not a
Oh,
big
yeah,
enough
exactly.
door to put a backhoe in, it's more, yard work and heavy yard work. From Southern Garden, which they hope to continue to lease in a different location, but.
All right, Diane and I were all together, we did see the door back there, so I kind of understood why you were doing what you were doing, but now it sounds like you're more extensive. And so you're not talking like a contractor's yard type of equipment going in and out of it?
Yeah.
No, strictly maintain the property.
Just your personal, okay, that kind of got my attention, so
No,
I think we have to be clear on that, all right, that's good. All right, so, I'm not gonna say too much more about this, because the areas I would make comment would be, is it sufficient or a robust enough, restoration? But it sounds like you're gonna go back and really look at this. Yes,
And get
it's
judgment
gonna
with
change.
staff, yes.
Yeah, so I think just what I want to see is if you want to alter the, alteration zone. Not. I know you already had a variance request in anyhow, but now it's gonna be more extensive than what was originally there. I'd like to see a really varied restoration plans and if there's trees that need to be replaced, if are not just shrubs or undestroyed, just see if we get something varied in there and. I would be, even though you're expanding that area, I would be all right if you spread this out more on the areas that needed it, so that's Isabel. You know what I'm saying, that doesn't have to be concentrated right where it is. Normally what we do is try to get that area, but. There are other areas that are more conducive to even a tree or something, I think that would be great. All right, Thanks, Bill.
Okay. Diane?
Yeah, I was concerned with the different dumping, historical dumping areas on the property. Some of them looked like it was quite old, but it was clearly, and there's not vegetation growing on some of it because it must be pretty thick. So I'm glad that this is an opportunity to clean some of that up out there, because it's, you know, a nice big, big lot, and it's good to see that. I will wait to see what come back with, working with staff on this, and, that's all I have, yeah, thanks.
Okay, I'm all set, thanks. Jeff?
Good for now, thanks.
Christine?
I'm good for now.
Okay, Tom?
All set, thank you.
All right, I am also. Any questions from anyone? Anyone online?
Yeah, but no raised hands.
No one?
Okay, I just wanna make one point, Isabel, I appreciate you, you know, willing to go out and do this. And maybe need some directive,
Yeah, you
but,
need a restoration plan.
right, but I don't want, I want, you know, who do they have?
Yeah, it's just to specifically discuss the adequate access.
Oh, do I? Yeah, all right,
Adequate access around the barn. There's, just to clarify, there would still be restoration opportunities based on our review. Um, it's tough to see without the scale in hand. So those areas should just be better identified on the human and yeah, to just discuss the extent of alteration. So whatever you have additional information here, maybe if we can get it ahead of time, that'd be great. Did you revise the plan
Yes.
with anything?
Yeah.
well, I know
So you'll need a restoration plan by Norris.
right, that's what my.
Yeah, there
I
is a
don't
slope.
think it's part of the restoration.
Right.
Right.
Steve, you said that the difference that the relocated house is 70 feet, is it 75 or is it 70? On the plan I have, it's
It's
70.
usually 70,
Okay,
because they added a basement for.
okay, so it is 70.
Yeah, yeah, just for that. They call it dog house, it's just a door upstairs now.
All right.
Thank you.
And I will make a motion to continue the hearing for 36 Rogers Street. The applicant is John and Melissa Conley, found number 109-1602 and BDL 1602 to August 11th. To determine a new restoration plan and to review the wetland line. Do we want to have that wire fence removed, Isabel? Would you be possible to remove that wire fence, or would you need damage to do that?
No, so there's portions of the wire, I need to, where did I get that?
You said it.
I said it?
Yeah.
Nay. That area.
Yeah, so there's portions of that fence that are dilapidated and on the ground, and some of it that is standing. And I don't know, maybe it was old farm fence line, but the part that is down should be cut and removed.
All right, so you put a note on Steve's, show that, right? And then so your revisions to the plan that discussed.
We're in the back.
Yeah, by the canal. It's actually a safety issue for kids out there and wildlife.
No,
I have a phone.
He's very graceful.
I have a phone, so-
All right, so revisions to the plan and a new, revised plan and a restoration.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're a little bit ahead of us.
Night.
Right.
It's about the-
Okay, at 7:30. We'll get to the Mass Wetlands Protection Act and Bill Ricker Wetlands Protection Bylaw wetland hearing. Notice of intent, continue public hearing, 290 Boston Road, applicant Golfo, DEP file 109-1587, BBL 1587.
Okay, for the record, Steve Dresser, Ransom Way, representing Golfo LLC. This is relative to the construction of multiple use building at 279 Boston Road on the corner of Bridge Street and Boston Road. This is a long continued public hearing relative to the sewer connection to the town sewer system. As a condition of approval for this building, the applicant was required to improve the sewer system. There's a pipe out here that is flat. You know, even though there are other 8-inch pipes that are fine, because this one is flat, it's over capacity. When they connected the pump station at Briar Road and then the pump station at Wayne Road, it's just kind of put that over capacity, so I'm gonna have Golfo prove that pipe. We had submitted an initial one which had a pipe parallel to this existing pipe. We're gonna try to run kind of the pipes in series. This is Mike Munger, Representative Golfo LLC. Through discussions with the engineering department that have gone on, we have kind of come up with this alternate plan of running a bypass kind of around this and using the existing service, using the existing sewer, which doesn't have the capacity for all that sewer coming down, but has plenty of capacity for the building, and using that as a service, and we'll disconnect these two through here. And again, run the steeper pipes down to this pipe here. Yeah, there's a manhole down here, so there will be some activity. We did do a site walk back in April with Isabel, who had suggested that some of the flags that were labeled as wetland should be actually the bank, as well as some extension, beyond even those wetland flags. I think one was a flag that was probably January or something like that, but certainly when we went there, it was pretty evident, clear. Kind of high water season, so these plans show that as revised. And we'll go from there. We are not finalized with the engineering department. We hope to do that soon, and we hope to close at the next hearing, so we did just want to come in and see if there were any questions from you people that we could change plans if we need to or such, prior to that hearing, so we don't show up and have a couple little things that we have to do and then get put off till September. Because obviously can't beat the winter. The building is, in a fairly complete phase. We need to get the sewer in and we need to do a street opening. I will add this new design. It is much less disruptive than Boston Road. The only place we'll be coming in is at that spot. We won't have to dig up a lot of Boston Road, Boston Silt, or whatever. Maybe not a conservation issue, but certainly nice that we won't have to disrupt that road as much and less traffic. Disruption. So we'll take it from there. If you have any questions, we'll answer them.
Isabel.
Just a couple of notes. So there is ongoing coordination between the applicant, Steve Dresser, and the DPW. You would need concurrence from DPW acknowledging that whatever work is being proposed within an existing sewer easement is allowed. There was various emails going back and forth, so basically whatever Heather said on her email, that's required. I think you were gonna coordinate with that there
I'm
too.
hoping we clarified that for her, there's an easement, the town owns an easement, the town of Billerica Sewer took an easement in 1974 that allowed for the installation of this, so we're gonna continue to use that, so.
And then there was something
The town owns the easement, not the state. The state doesn't have any control over that pipe once they grant the easement. The main part of this, that across from Bridge Street is actually a paper street. At one time, see the bridge abutment out there, but at one time that connected over to the Bridge Street, so there still retains a paper street in there. And that is what the new sewer, the bypass is gonna go down. The other sewer's not gonna be touched, so it's just continued use by, public.
I don't know, there was some discussion between about maintaining, it's public sewer easement, but for private use. I would recommend then before coming before the board again, at least in an email format that DPW has.
We 100% have to sign it over to DPW before we.
Yeah, just because you're connected to municipal sewer and it's all within jurisdiction, it's riverfront area, this BLSF, so. So that's just for the record, and I know that there's ongoing coordination. On the plan, if across the street at 279 Boston Road, if you can add a note, project under construction. DEP file number. And then it shows the stairs and the edge of the building. Are those stairs there today?
No.
And the concrete walk?
No, they're part of the,
So if you could just add that as proposed?
Yeah.
And I know why you did it, it gives people a sense of when they're looking at the project that's being proposed, kind of where everything's occurring. So then I would just, propose, and then, whatever square foot building under construction, project under construction. So then that'll give everyone a sense of what was generally there during this review. I'm not asking for an as-built of what's there today, just general information.
we have foundation, we'll show you, this is
If
a lift from the proposed, but we'll show
you have that already?
Yeah.
Oh, if you have it, then
Yeah.
perfect, I would just add it.
Okay.
And as far as the flags, we did walk that in the field with Steve again, and so GCA 6 was shifted up, and if you could put by how many feet, and then GCA 7 shifted up by how many feet with the next, okay? And you had requested a site visit, but based on your new or revised design, do you have a sense of how many trees would be cleared?
I think just that one,
Okay,
but the reason I'd like to give a site is it's all invasive, so. It's just low, so if we're gonna do some kind of invasive on there, and at the same time, the
and utility overhead,
utilities right there, and they're famous, as they've done on here, for just going in there and clearing wherever they feel like. Discriminate with them. It's fair to say that the electric company does that. On record.
and then the plan has the datum, has the green engineering floodplain or FEMA floodplain information,
Yeah, they added the panel numbers.
and then the datum. But that's just our typical comments. And that's it for staff review, thank you.
One,
No, I don't have any questions. I appreciate the update. Seems like you're almost there.
hope so.
I'll wait until the new revised plan comes in. Thank you, Bill.
Good, and
Yeah, my other question, Steve, I just wanted to make sure I understand, so that line that goes underneath Boston Road that says plug 8-inch AC. And then goes up to the new 12-inch, that one's still gonna be used, correct? It's the piece that goes from.
This one's,
Yes.
that one's not gonna be used.
So where is it coming out of the building then?
This is an existing service right here,
Right,
that comes out from a stub. At that manhole, that's an existing manhole,
right,
so right now, there's an existing 8-inch that comes out here. That's only for the service to the building,
okay,
and then it runs down into that manhole there.
so,
So this will get bypassed, this is the pipe that doesn't work with all the sewer that.
Right.
comes into it.
so where is the bypass then?
Over here, the purple, so they're gonna come straight right across down Bridge Street, and then kind of straight across.
So, yeah, I don't have, unfortunately, I don't have.
Or so over here,
So the one over there, but
Yeah.
so where does it come out of the building now?
it comes out, well, there's an existing. Service that's.
So that existing-
To Marshall's,
That's gonna stay,
that's gonna stay,
okay,
provided that it's in good condition.
Okay.
We have no reason to think it isn't, but certainly could be. wise to have us make sure it doesn't have cracks in it, and such.
Absolutely.
You know, we'll fix it if need be, or whatever they want us to do, we'll do.
And there's no grinder pumps involved with this or anything.
Right.
Yeah, thank you, I'm all set.
Jack,
I'm all set.
Jeff,
Good, thank you.
Christine,
I'm good, thank you.
Tom,
All set, thank you.
okay? And the only comment I had was, and Diane was close on it. When that existing 6 inch line comes out. Previous drawing you had, which was revision of 616, showed a new line coming from the new building.
Correct.
And this one didn't,
Yeah.
so I didn't know where that went to. You just haven't located the new one in there yet on the latest drawing.
No, this.
I mean,
this-
you had it on the 16 revision.
Yeah, they're no longer gonna add a new, the plan is to not add a new service, it's to use the existing service.
But
And put a manhole at the end of it and connect into that,
the existing 6 inch, right?
the existing six.
I thought, somewhere in my mind, I thought the new one was gonna be 8 coming out of the.
It
complex.
was, and the sewer department had requested an 8, but we requested that they be allowed to use a 6, which is. Way more capacity than they
Okay.
need, but that's our, ongoing discussion.
Okay,
Good question.
that's it then. Joanne, oh, excuse me. No one had a question, Christina, anybody? No,
All right.
no audience. So, thank you.
Make a motion to continue the hearing for my last time. United Boston Road at file number 109-1587, BBL 1587 so, August 11th, Steve, is that?
Yep.
August 11th for the
So-
revised plans.
Second.
Is that Tom?
Yep.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And you're welcome.
Why, Michael?
Aye.
Have a good night.
It's 7:43. Mass Wetlands Protection Act and with request of determination of applicability, continued public hearing, 5-year renewal vegetation management plan by the MBTA for Unitil. Has requested a continuance to the August 11th meeting.
So moved.
All in favor? And it's 7:44. Mass Wetlands Protection Act and Billerica Wetlands Protection Bylaw Wetlands Hearing. Notice of intent, continued public hearing for Talbot Mills Dam. DEP file 109-1585, BBL 1585. At the request of the applicant to continue to the September 22nd meeting.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
That was Jack,
Mm-hmm,
was that Jack?
yes,
Yes.
yeah, yep, yep,
Yes.
And the next one was previously.
no,
So we're to administrative matters.
Isabel, isn't this one?
Yeah, so there, I sent you an email, there was a request to withdraw Nolan House Circle, however, that meeting, I think, was already continued to August 11th, and just to keep things clean, I think you should formally accept and approve that at your August, in the event anyone wanted to come and speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was already continued.
Yeah,
Yes, that was previously.
I just wanted to make sure.
Um, okay, a request for certificate of compliance, first on the list is the DEP file number 109-1548. DEP file number 1548, recall that's the Kew Garden Center, has anyone gone there? It looks
Yes.
Looks really good, yeah.
Yeah.
pretty cool, yeah.
Not as cheap as slush stand was.
On Monday, so. The seasons.
But yes, you had issued a wetlands permit back in November of 2024, and it was kind of an after the fact approval. Because a portion of the greenhouse had been constructed, within the outer buffer zone. So, yeah, that scope was revised a few different times. It was more extensive with parking lot initially. They scaled that back just due to cost and so forth. We did request some revisions on the as-built plan. We received that. DPW issued a few comments. They wanted the as-built calculations for certain features. I'm sorry, wrong project. I'm jumping ahead. I'm getting two projects. I'm like, wait, they didn't even have a basin. But we did have DPW review the as-built plan, as well. Just because there's a portion of the Boston Road project in that area that's going to be, that's proposing and was approved. Christina Papadopoulos, your stormwater engineer, did conduct site visits and so forth, and she's on board with the degree of work that's been completed. In relation to what's still to occur as part of the town project, separate and independent. We're gonna go ahead and recommend that, the commission, based on the documentation of compliance. The decision to either approve or deny, but you have all the information you need.
I'll make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance for Fountain 11548 and BBL 1548, 505 Boston Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, next on the list is DEP file number, RCOC for DEP file number 1091467, BBL 1467. This is 92 Billerica Avenue. This is a project that was reviewed as a LUPO, land use with high potential pollutant loading. Brian Dunn completed your as-built review a while back, and also we have comments on the as-built plan, just clarification on forebay, labeling of certain stormwater features that you would need. Also Christina Papadopoulos with DPW provided some comments, and I believe he'll be addressing some of those comments as part of having to close out the stormwater bylaw permit. But based on all the information we have to date, and revised as-built plan, you have enough information to document compliance with your order conditions. It's actually a substantial improvement out there.
All right, I'll make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance for file number 1091467 and BBL 1467, 92 Little River Ave.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, next on the list is the request for certificate of compliance for DEP file number 1091463, BBL 1463, 3 Conley Road. As you may recall, you issued a permit back in November 17 of 2021 for an addition and post and rail fence. It involved restoration of inner buffer zone as well. They needed to revise the as-built plan and clarify some areas, also needed some additional posts to be installed in the field. All that work has been completed. Mike was out there more recently, and clarified overall compliance with your order conditions.
All right, I'll make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance for file number 1091463 and BBL 1463, 3 Conley Road.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Next is DEP file number 109295 for Federal Street. This was for construction of a parking lot by Building 8 or 8 Federal Street. The permit was issued back in June of 1986, and no, we don't want to hear what grade you were in, Mike.
Wasn't even full.
Okay.
Life was so boring, and
I know.
We verified that, so basically your request for certificate of compliance is just acknowledging that the project was never constructed and they need to remove the encumbrance from the property title.
I'll make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance of file number 109295 Federal Street. So that the work was never completed in order to clear the deed, I guess, right?
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay. Next on the list is the DEP file number 1091497 BBL 1497 for 45 Conway Road. This is a partial request. This is the permit, wetlands permit was issued back in August of 2022. The construction of a new single family dwelling. Mike, was this a subdivided lot? Was this a subdivided lot?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And the commission was reviewed and reviewed the project, and there was a 50-foot no alteration zone that was clarified on the approved plan. There were some issues with some of the work that had been concluded out there.
Okay.
Riprap was placed within the no alteration zone. That since has been removed by the contractor. A contractor has installed the post and no fence, completed the plantings and so forth. So has requested that a partial certificate be issued, kind of concluding their portion of the work. The new owners, who had a copy of the order of conditions, inadvertently mowed portions of the no alteration zone. Both in the front and to the left of the house.
So they go behind the fence and do it?
Yes. So we're working with them and they understand they need to replace the lawn that's growing in as pretty tall grass with the conservation wildlife seed mix, and also options to either plant some shrubs or wait until that's fully stabilized. So they're working on it, and we've been communicating. At this time, the commission could issue a partial certificate acknowledging that the overall construction was complete, but that the no alteration, full restoration of the no alteration zone remains outstanding
Now,
based on the homeowner alteration.
why do they need the partial?
The contractor has requested it, the developer. The house has since been sold and the new homeowners were aware of the order of conditions before they purchased the house.
I don't feel a need to issue a partial unless if it's one thing, if they're trying to refinance, but. Yeah,
This is not.
This is to get it away from the builder. And the homeowner is now responsible if we do a partial.
It's up to the commission.
so you would recommend to get it?
We've acknowledged what's typically done by the commission and full compliance, but the homeowners are very eager to close out for you as well. They're being proactive about addressing.
I think it may make them work faster because now it's all on them.
You might, so when did they complete construction? Yeah, it's been completed. They needed to correct some issues that they had as well. They had placed riprap within the no alteration zone. For stabilization of an area.
The builder?
Yeah, that wasn't adequate. They were required to remove it and stabilize the area. And they did, but then there's since been mowing, which the homeowner has ceased, but it's just overgrown grass. No, your conservation wildlife seed mix.
Do we have an enforcement order on the homeowner?
No, because we were working with an RCOC review and that's what we do. And we've been communicating over email, but they're addressing it. They understand precisely what needs to be done and what's expected.
I don't know, they probably are, I'm sure will do it, but I think this would be In my opinion, it would be leaving us with a gap here that, you know, we don't have an enforcement order on one party and we release it to another party. We're saying, you know, that and basically it is done. I would recommend that we defer this, and so let's see, this is what? July. So they don't even, have they planted anything yet? No. So two growing seasons, or we just did one?
Well, they did the plantings, the shrub plantings and. Okay.
The contractor did the plantings and,
But that whole area was conservation wildlife segments.
yeah, they mowed it.
Oh, it's, grass,
Yeah, it's all grass now.
wasn't conservation wildlife.
Well, how did they get a lawnmower on the other side of the post around fence?
Street, because they just kind of went around.
Only common sense will work on.
If the commission wants to take a look at it.
Yeah, I think, I.
Who's the builder?
I would
Yes.
defer this, I'm not, I think they
Brian,
need
do we-
an enforcement order, what we need, if we're gonna release this. We need
Yeah.
something.
The commission can also decide to not issue a partial certificate.
Yeah.
Fully, or fully, or.
I mean, it doesn't
Both parties.
affect him either way, I mean, it's not really a big deal.
I'm gonna make a motion then that we do not issue, or take no action actually.
I don't know if they have an encumbrance.
Who
So
the,
the COC is, or escrow, I have no idea, presuming that that's what this is about.
Or we could take no action until the,
Or you can deny the request for partial certificate.
what is the?
My opinion is,
Yes,
if you give him. Now this is on the homeowner,
yeah, but we don't have anything on the homeowner, either we give the homeowner an enforcement order.
right,
Or you
Right
could
now we have
flag
nothing.
something against the homeowner.
well, that's the thing, I
If it's
mean,
not-
you have to give the homeowner an enforcement, which you really don't wanna do if you don't have to.
I mean, to keep it clear, then you just don't approve of.
Right,
Yeah.
I would just say, just don't approve it, that's all,
Approve
period.
the partial.
I don't think we should.
Very good, that's.
And then he'll get on their ass to get it done if he.
All right, I make a
The
motion.
the homeowners are being proactive, they've requested clarification on what needs to be completed, and I've offered to meet them up on the side.
I make a motion that we deny a partial certificate of compliance until all work that was an encroachment in the no alteration zone is fully planted in two growing seasons.
If someone takes away their fly mower.
Tom, did you? Yes, I second that motion.
Thank you.
What the fly mower? It was a hybrid fly.
Did I hear all?
Okay, so that,
No,
All in favor?
Aye.
so that was Joanne, Judy, no, and who second?
Tom,
Okay, thank you.
Tom's my new wingman, Jack, he's taking your place, you better get.
No, invitation.
Step up to the plate,
Um,
man.
Permanently on vacation.
Okay, next on the agenda. Is 8 o'clock. Is a request for emergency certification, certificate. This is regarding a failed septic system at 12 Nixon Brook Road.
It's wet down.
I forwarded an email to the commission. That email included the Board of Health memo declaring the emergency associated with public health and safety. The Board of Health Director is aware of, I don't know if you would call it a leakage or a spillage associated with that septic system. This is an old plan. I'm not familiar with this property with regards to, well, it was, I think the work was done back in 2006, I'm not familiar with that. We did do a thorough walk, a site visit of the property with the property owner, myself, Crystal, Board of Health Director, and Mike. And we verified, yep, that there is a culvert further down, along the southern edge of the property on Mixon Brook Road. And it's a stream and associated BBW on the right side of the property. There is a well-defined tree line, existing lawn, which is not expansive on the right side of the house. There is a driveway that's was expanded beyond what you see here, but not that far. There is BBW on the left side of the house as well. So we reviewed, the purpose of the site visit was to review the limit of erosion controls that would be needed to safely access the project area. If anyone drove by there, there's, and I think I printed out an arrow, I'm not sure if I passed that out, but there's an existing shed and the excavator will basically reach the backside of the house through the existing driveway between the tree line and the shed, which there is room. No need for cutting trees. Actually, if you look at the plan, there's a water, a well on site. It'll be to the left of that water pipe. Just remembered I forwarded you the plans on email. So it'll be between the shed that exists on the site and the water line, the well that is. All work will be maintained on the existing lawn and the area will be loam and seeded. We inspected the erosion controls already today.
Are they correcting it or putting a new one in?
They have to replace it.
They have to replace it.
Yeah, it's not a matter of repair, they have to replace the whole thing.
Yeah.
But basically, the intent, we know this contractor from just other work, on tough sites, one of them is that shed road. That was, constructed, but basically his plan is to, not even stockpile on site, they're just gonna load it and haul off site. If they were going to stockpile, it's within the erosion controls that we just inspected today. The homeowner, understands that with, an after the fact type filing or, a filing and NOI for this would require a form of visual barrier. And there's a well-defined limit that already exists, kind of a stone wall here, an edge of lawn, that a few posts could be installed, and same here, which is this area here falls within the outer buffer zone.
So we conditioned this in 2006?
No, I have no idea. I
Oh, I
didn't see a
thought you-
file. No, I was talking about an after the fact
Oh, okay.
filing, but it is an emergency and it's up to the commission if an after the fact filing would be required, but right now, I think any funds that they have are associated with a rather large replacement. My X's are where the erosion control would go, the buffer zone, this is out of buffer zone. The stream is far back here where the culvert is. It's fully vegetated, it's a forested, it looks like an estimate. It's not on the USGS map. But it's pretty straightforward, there's a main, basically the edge of the lawn would be where the posts would be located. Homeowners, okay with that, and this is probably greater than 25 feet on.
And I understand that they can't mow or cause any debris or anything like that.
Yes, and they're actually removing miscellaneous debris that we found, and then it was pretty old, there's some old lawn chairs that were in the woods. And that's all being removed as we speak. And that's really it, it's just getting the commission on board. I basically issued the emergency cert, just need you to ratify it.
Alrighty, I'll make a motion that we ratify the emergency certification for 12 Nixon Road to put in a new septic system.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, if anyone wants to look at that, then you can pass it down. Oh, it's interesting. I also emailed it to the commission.
Did you go print one? You just go print an emergency, sir? I just realized I didn't do that.
There's a lot of the donation for Rangeway Town Forest Day to expand that property is before the select board tonight. I shared with the commission the memorandum that we submitted. I generally haven't had to attend the select board meetings, provided we submit enough details so she understands what they're reviewing, accepting and approving. That's one of the updates. Violation and enforcement, we are working with the Board of Health more recently. Well, there's a number of different enforcements we're working on. One in particular involves dumping that had occurred at the Irish American, and I think I brought that up in last time. So we just conducted a recent site visit. The Board of Health did issue a violation notice, and we're continuing to work with that together. Haven't really heard back from the property owner. But it is, the dumping out there is extensive and needs to, so a degree of security measures need to be installed.
You know, just not the touch line.
So that's the Irish American, that's just an example of one of them. And then going on to meeting minutes.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of April 18th, 2025 with minor corrections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who did that say?
It was Jack.
Jack.
And I make a motion that we accept the minutes of 5/12/25 with minor corrections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's it for now.
Working.
We will pass down some signature pages. A lot of certificates of
In addition.
compliance and your emergency certificate as well. Thank you.
Who's gonna adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Oh.
We have done it 8:08.
Just waited, yeah.
That was coming on the,
Jeff Cannell and Tom,
that did.
Oh, you were on it too?
all in favor?
Aye.
Hey, aye.
Still,
Still am.
Sorry.